My name is Samuel Deshi, Ritdun Integrated Farms. The last time I took you through the process of pruning the grapevine. Today we are going to go through another process of pruning. Coincidentally, the pruning season seemed to coincide because plants are best pruned in their dormant stage. Now, so we are going to go into our home garden, the section that house the apples, and I'll just demonstrate how we can do that. So come with me. We have just some, not too many apple stands, because like I said, this is a home garden, maybe about 10 on the average. Now, first take a look at this. If you look at this apple tree, I have removed most of the old leaves and I'm awaiting flowering. You can see that some have started flowering. You can see some there. In the days following, you will see more flowering and eventually it will lead to fruit setting. Okay, now, so these two actually have been pruned. So what do we do when we want to prune apples? The principles seem to be the same, even with the grape. One of the things you need to do, there are key things you should watch out for. Dead stems. If you have dead stems, you cut them off. Now, in pruning too, you want to be able to control the growth of your plants. Assuming I'm not comfortable this plant expanding widely, I can decide to reduce the size of the longer stems so that it will be within my control. Now, but I'm going to demonstrate that with this. If you just take a look at this, you can see how the leaves are looking. Take a look, bring it close. Some are looking black. Some might eventually fall down on their own. And like I often said, when you don't prune, it's not as if your fruits will not flower and fruit eventually. But the potentials are not well maximized. So pruning is essential. Now we'll attempt to prune this tree, the one that is before me. There are times, like I said, you want to be able to shape your plants. There are other times for the apple that all you need to do is to remove the leaves and allow it so that new leaves can come, new flowers can come, and the fruit would set in. So one of the things you watch out for is every plant requires enough airing. Meaning that if I have a tree like this, I can decide to cut certain parts so that the plant will have enough air. I can just do this in the middle. So I can decide to cut off particularly those that are at the center. Now, if I also want to reduce the height of this, there's nothing that stops me from cutting this off and cutting some of it. Now, if I'm satisfied that I have it, the next thing is basically, I check if there are dead stalks. For now, I can't see any. Maybe just this one. Okay. The next thing I will need to do here is basically just remove the leaves. It's as simple as that. If I don't want to do more of the trimming. So how do I remove the leaf? Tenderly, I shred all these leaves down and lift the apple tree bed. So this you can also do just with your hand. You don't really need to use the secateurs, as the case might be. Okay. Okay. Now, the only thing you observe is that at the top, it's always advisable to leave the top part. So I will leave this, but any other leaf, you know, around it, let me just demonstrate. You're free to remove almost all the leaves, but you just leave the terminal ones. So you can see at this end, I'm going to leave this. Take a look at this very one. I can remove every other thing down. Okay, of course you can see that the leaves they're getting old and they're on their way out now, but at the top I still allow these few leaves. Okay, same principle will apply here. As easy as this. I will leave the terminal leaves. Just be careful so that you don't injure the plant. Okay. Now you can observe on its own, this has started flowering, but I will still remove this old leaf. Look at how they look on their own. Okay. This is a bit old, so I want to cut this. The terminal part is not that useful. Again, just watch. I'm not touching the part that's already flowering. I'm just removing the old leaves. In a few weeks' time, this will be filled with new leaves, new flowers, and possibly fruit setting. Okay. Okay. Yes, so wow. Okay, so if you observe clearly, we don't have any old leaves again on this apple tree. Most of the leaves you now see are fresh ones, or the ones that have even started flowering on their own. And this will give room for the apple tree to bring out new leaves, new flowers, just like this, that will allow for fruiting. Okay, so this is done. Of course, take a look at this tree. Also take a look at this. Now, so this is the difference between an apple that has been pruned and the one that is yet to be pruned. You can see that here, all the leaves here are fresh, while this one, come closer, is still full of a lot of, old leaves. I'm going to do the same process here. I'm going to remove all these old leaves, cut off some excesses. Come along with me. I was talking about cutting off old woods, which is a general principle in pruning. Look at this. This is an old wood. There's of no use again. You can see this. These are dead woods. Yeah, because every tree, after some years, will go through this process. Some parts will become dead, and during pruning, you got to take them off. Now, like I said, that the pruning is a bit late, even though it still works. Look at this. Some of the apples have started setting on their own. even before the pruning. Look at this, you can see. Okay. Yeah, so basically that's what it means to prune your apple. Okay, so after pruning your apple, maybe the next thing you want to do, particularly at this time, is to ensure that you give it regular water and apply some manure, you know, around the roots, so that your apple can do well. Now, I just want to explain something. You just come in here. Watch this. Initially, when you plant your grafted apples, we normally advise that you trail it to grow upward so that the energy is not diverted. So below your grafting point, which we shall demonstrate later, everything ought to be removed. But when your apple grows up eventually, you might still have some offshoots from the ground. Now it gives you some advantages. You can decide to remove it. You can also decide to graft another. For instance, this is a shoot that has grown out of this ground, and I've grafted another species on it. Now I had the choice of immediately removing this with some part of the root so that I can plant in another container, because more or less this is it's coming out of the mother rootstock. It's not the grafted point. Somewhere along this way is where they were grafted. Okay, so this is one way you can multiply your apple. Now another method is, of course, you start raising them from seeds, which we will explain later.
After the whole exercise of pruning, if you watch carefully, you can hardly see old leaves again on this tree. It's either French leaves that have come out, or we have removed. Let me just get rid of this. We have removed all the old leaves. Just take a look at the trees. So all you can see here are new leaves. Some are already flowering. You can see this. Okay. Yes, so all we now have are the new leaves. We're just allowing these ones to start setting flowers, basically.
Okay. I hope you enjoy this process. Thank you.